Republican strategist and attorney Kendall Vecchio and Democratic strategist Max Burns. Good to have you both with us.
Yeah.
Max, let's start with you. Stephen Colbert kind of helping Senator Warren out there, but the bottom line is Warren is still not answering the question about how she's going to pay for her socialist policies and whether that does mean she is going to raise taxes on the middle class. So shall we just take that as a yes? Taxes will go up.
Well, the problem is in the way this question is phrased. We say if you raise taxes by $5, but you're cutting the spending on health that most Americans pay by 10, no one's going to say, my taxes went up $5. They're going to say, I saved money overall.
So that's the spin.
That's what we need to talk about.
I mean, that's the spin that Colbert is trying to give it. But ultimately, Ken, sounds to me like taxes are going up.
You know, how Max just phrased it is, it sounds rational. The problem is that taxes are going to go up significantly. You can't rightfully argue that the cost saving is going to be decreased or completely eradicated by the tax issue. It's not. The taxes are going to go up. And something worse, people aren't going to be able to pick the physicians that they want any longer.
Right.
We're going to go into like these socialized medicine nations where people are waiting for months and months to have routine surgery or to have, more importantly, critical surgery.
Well, that's the concern, that when you do have this kind of national program, that health care across the board takes a hit for everyone, and then people may have to shell out extra money for private health care or to supplement that. But it does seem, though, Max, that Warren is resonating, at least according to these latest polls, that her policies are clicking with voters, and she seems to be doing better than Bernie Sanders. I mean, is she gaining ground at the expense of Bernie Sanders? If the two are being positioned as pretty much coming out of the same mold, seems like the voters prefer her, according to the polls.
Yeah, she's pulling a bit from Joe Biden on the corners, a bit from Kamala Harris. We're seeing the field really start to winnow down to maybe 3 or 4 people. And Elizabeth Warren so far has been the only one to consistently gain from poll to poll. The rest are either Pete Buttigieg stagnant at 6, or people like Kamala Harris who are starting to lose as I think the field starts to focus more on the individual candidates and what they propose.
Is that easier for President Trump if he has to go up against Pocahontas, as he calls her?
She can't win. In fact, none of these candidates can win. The one who's going to be able to gain the most percentage points is going to be somebody like Joe Biden, a centrist. But let's look at this, Michelle. The Democrat Party is a collection of groups of people who have completely diverging interests. Take, for example, African Americans. They're just like all other Americans. 50% of them or more are against abortion. 50% of them or more are against illegal immigration. They want people deported who enter the United States illegally that are adjudicated that manner. 50% or more are against the Green New Deal. Take Hispanics. Hispanics, same thing. On all those things I just mentioned, except for the illegal entry issue. However, they're against reparations. Take Muslims. Muslims, they're against gay marriage at a higher level than the vast majority of Republicans, okay? They have completely diverging interests. They're going to implode. Their whole agenda is by white liberals. It's white liberals that run their whole platform, but a great portion of the party is not for it.
Yeah, I mean, Ken, I appreciate your attempt to scare and divide people in the party, but there's a reason why the Kaiser Foundation poll last week showed more than 50% of America supports Medicare for all. It's because things are not working, and the wool is not being pulled over people's eyes anymore.
More than 50% of America does not support Medicare for all. That's
Ken,
an incorrect number.
You can argue with the data if you want.
Does it really matter, considering we're in such a politically divisive place in this country? Does it really matter? Because those that hate the president are going to hate the president, and they're going to vote no matter who the Democrats put forward. And the same way, the other way around, no matter who the Democrats put forward, those that love the president are going to vote for the president.
That's hitting the nail on the head. The only unifying factor among the Democrat group, combined group, is that they hate President Trump and they hate Republicans in general because they each have something that they want that Republicans don't want to give them. However, the only way that they're going to gain any ground is by having an absolute centrist, somebody who people that are independents don't think is a lunatic, like the policies that are being put forward by Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. They're still not going to beat them no matter what for the rationale that you just stated. People that love Donald Trump, wow, they love him. They really love him.
You really
and by
have
the way,
to wonder how many undecided voters are in this country at the moment, how many independents there truly are in this climate.
And there's a lot of signs that the center has sort of reduced over the last couple of electoral cycles as we polarize. But, you know, I hear all this advice from Republicans on electing a centrist. We need someone like Joe Biden to not run to the fringes. Well, they worked to elect the most right-wing president in modern history. Where were these Republicans
he's not
when Donald
right-wing.
Trump was talking about jailing
Max,
children?
you're conflating people's perception of his personality with his policies. He's really not that far right-wing. He's actually center on a lot of different issues.
All right.
The centrist position of jailing children.
Time. We appreciate your passion and your perspective. As always, Kendall Vecchio and Max Burns, thank you so much. And keep it right here. Clear Cut Plus is next.